Raiders rumors heading into NFL Scouting Combine Week here on the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz, and I got boots down in Indianapolis. Everything that you're going to see here on today's program is essentially what you can expect from the Combine around all things regarding the silver and black, because I promise you this right now, the number one team that will be discussed here will be the Las Vegas Raiders, who have the number one overall pick. Hopefully that's Fernando Mendoza. Also, lots of conversations around Max Crosby, and to make sure that you're getting videos from me, exclusive content from the Combine, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. So the first thing that I want to talk about here is just the quick little Combine schedule that you can really expect from me. We actually here at Chat Sports are going tomorrow to get our credentials, which is when everything's going to be, I think, kind of the ball gets rolling a little bit. Coaches, executives, they're going to be talking tomorrow. John Spytek, 10:15 a.m. on Tuesday. You can bet I'm going to be front and center. I'm going to be trying to get some questions for the Raiders general manager. There is nothing for Clint Kubiak in terms of a scheduled time. I am hoping that Clint and the new coaching staff is out here in bunches, because whether it's the Combine, whether it's free agency, we need to make sure that we capitalize on the biggest Raiders offseason that has ever happened since I have covered the silver and black. The other probably most important time that y'all want to find out about, it's Fernando Mendoza. He's going to be Friday at 8 a.m. bright and early. You can expect videos on Spytek. You can expect videos on Mendoza. You can expect tons and tons of content from me here at Chat Sports on the Raiders Report. Now, this was said on Saturday by Schefter, and I'm not really surprised by it at all, that Mendoza's not going to be throwing at the Combine. And this is what Schefter said. Projected number one overall pick, Fernando Mendoza will not throw at the Combine this week, per source. He will throw at Indiana's Pro Day on April 1st, when the school has multiple pass catchers that Mendoza wants to help showcase. And I'm not really surprised by this. I think over the past 3 seasons, the person that was supposed to go number one overall didn't end up throwing, and I think it's a smart move for Fernando, because he doesn't really have anything else to gain. He's going to be the number one overall pick, so if he waits to throw at Indiana, that's going to help out Elijah Sarad. That's going to help out Omar Cooper Jr. It's going to help out a lot of those other prospects, get more eyes on them, which I think, again, shows the type of man, shows the type of leader that the Raiders are hopefully going to be getting here at that number one overall spot. From a breakdown of what positions are going to be testing on Thursday, February 26th, it's the kickers, it's the defensive linemen, it's the linebackers. On Friday, tight ends and defensive backs. Saturday is going to be quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, and then Sunday, I think, is actually the most important day for Raider fans. It's the offensive linemen on March 1st. So that's when a lot of the testing is going to end up going down. My question for everybody out there that's watching today's show, obviously, I'm going to get an opportunity to talk to Mendoza. I had the opportunity to meet Mendoza at the Super Bowl, but also I'm going to have the opportunity to talk to John Spytek. So what I want to know from you, because I was writing down different questions on my flight, I've been jotting down different things that I might be able to ask Spytek, that I might be able to ask Mendoza. So I'm going to look at all y'all, and I'm going to go like this. What's a question that you would ask them? Go down in the comments section. If it's a question for Spytek, put question for Spytek. If it's a question for Mendoza, put a question for Mendoza. The reason why we are the number one most watched Raider show on the planet, it's because of Raider Nation. So go down in the comment sections right now. You're about to get hit with the YouTube ad break. While that ad is playing, scroll on down and give me your question that you would ask Mendoza, Spytek. Hell, if you want to be an overachiever, give me 2 questions. So for me personally, one of the things that I'm really curious about that I want to ask Mendoza, it's if Max Crosby wants to play for a winning team, would Mendoza be hurt if Crosby asked for a trade? And we're going to talk a lot about Crosby today, and we're going to be talking a lot about Crosby for the entire week, because I'm telling y'all this right now. If you were sick of Max Crosby trade rumors, you better get a mask, you better get some flu, you better get some stuff ready to go, because you might be sick and tired of it by the end of the week. But this is a big week where coaches talk, players talk, agents talk, a lot of talking going on during the NFL Scouting Combine. We're going to talk about some Max Crosby trade rumors here in just a moment, but before I get into that, if you don't know, today's show sponsor, Prize Pick, shoot your shot. on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right, Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that much more exciting. So don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Find your community on Prize Picks with a new social feed feature. If you want to find me, anybody here from Chat Sports, if you don't know, I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. If anybody out there wants to, again, like to me, this time of the year, now that football's over, if I ever get a lineup in for Prize Picks, it's going to be some sort of stack. Maybe it's a Steph Curry stack, Luka Doncic stack. Literally, me and the guys yesterday, we were at a bar. It's crazy. My dad was actually here in Indy. He met up with us at a bar, and we were watching the Pacers and the Mavs game, and a few of the guys here at Chat Sports ended up getting a lineup for that one just because we were at the bar, we were watching it, and that's one of the reasons why I love Prize Picks. Not only am I sitting there with all my friends getting some food, getting some drinks, we also were able to put a lineup together. We were able to watch the game, and you can watch it a little bit closer. So again, if you're a fan of basketball, college basketball, it's about to be the best time of the year. You can join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. Download the Prize Picks app today. Make sure that you use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. So again, today's show is all around the rumors heading into NFL Combine Week. SpyTech talking at 10:15 on Tuesday. Fernando Mendoza going to be talking on Friday at 8 a.m. No Clint Kubiak, which, again, I'm hoping I can run into Clint. I'm hoping that I figure out a way to find Clint, though there's probably a joke in there, Mitch trying to find the Clint. We can figure it out. But the next biggest thing that the rumors are going to be around heading into the Combine, it's Max Crosby. Get ready for it. Get ready for Crosby, because this is the time of the year where the biggest player, if they think that he's going to be dealt, they're going to talk about it. So for the Raiders, because they're going to be that #1 team talked about, I expect Crosby and the Raiders to meet. I saw there was a picture on social media, and you guys got to be careful because this time of the year, there's also brand new social media accounts popping up left and right. And I think the one that I saw was like Adam Farrell, right? And I don't remember who it was. It's like a spinoff of Schefter. Somebody was saying that Crosby and Kubiak already talked. It's not true. There's a picture circulating right now on Raiders Twitter. It's not a true one. But what I do expect is Crosby's team and the Raiders to talk this week. Some way, shape, or form, I think that there needs to be a conversation because as an organization, you're not going to trade the #1 overall pick. They're not. Fernando Mendoza is going to be a Raider. I'm telling y'all right now, that's going to be the quarterback. But if this is a team that wants the opportunity to rebuild, you don't trade the #1 pick. You trade Max Crosby. And the Raiders have made it very clear that they don't want to move on from him. And I found the fact that Kubiak at his press conference said he kind of left it up in the air of whether or not they would draft Mendoza, but he was very clear saying, I want Max Crosby to be a part of this organization. So because the Raiders want to be having Max to be a part of this organization, I do think if a trade ends up happening or more trade conversations end up going down, it's from Crosby and Crosby's team. And the fact that everything inside of the Raiders building is hush-hush and everything outside of the Raiders building sounds like Max wants to be dealt, I'm telling y'all, I am obviously here to cover the Combine, but the #1 thing I honestly think I end up talking about this week is going to be all the Max Crosby trade rumors. So because there's going to be so many rumors, I will talk about the important ones. If I don't think that there is a story that's important, I will not talk about it. So I want to be very clear. If you don't hear me talking about anything Max Crosby, it's because I don't think that it needs to be talked about. If I'm sitting up here talking about Max Crosby, it's because you need to listen to what we're discussing here. The last thing that I want to talk about in terms of just some of the news, some of the rumors heading into the NFL Combine Week, it's the Raiders. They hired a new coach yesterday for the offensive run game coordinator position, Mario Jebriel. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. This ended up happening right before I got on my flight to Indianapolis yesterday, so I didn't really have too much time to really dive into it, though I met a fan of Chat Sports, fan of Tom Dowdy. He was a Cowboys fan. We were filming right out of the TGI Fridays at the DFW airport, which was pretty crazy. I was rocking my Chat Sports hat, and he's like, yo, I know Chat Sports. But anyway, Mario Jebriel named your offensive run game coordinator. And I think that the reason why the Raiders did this is because Kubiak really trusts Rick Dennison. Rick Dennison was the run game coordinator, did some good stuff for Seattle this past season. He's now your offensive line coach. What's interesting about this hire is you look at the background, right? He's got 6 seasons coaching in the NFL, experience on the offense and defensive side of the football. Actually, Jebrail was spent 3 seasons coaching at the University of Kansas, and one of those years he had an overlap with Clint Kubiak. We know how important coaching relationships are, but the reason why I think that the Raiders decided to go in this direction was because Jebrail has some of those defensive background ties. And the fact that Kubiak at his press conference talked about how much that he loved to be able to talk to Mike McDonald because he needed to understand the defensive side of the football and what defensive coordinators were thinking, and then that would help him really scheme up the type of offensive game plan that he would have. The other thing that Kubiak said that really stuck out to me is like, yeah, I'm the one that calls plays, but I've never called a game by myself. So if you already know going into it that you're going to be looking, you're going to be listening to everybody, and because you trust Rick Dennison and his ability to run the football so much, I know what this job title is run game coordinator for Jebrail, but I really think it's just more of a right-hand man job to Rick Dennison. Rick Dennison knows the X's and O's on the offensive side of the football, so he's going to be able to really lean into that. And then you get somebody like Jebrail who's going to be on the other side, and he's really going to be able to help out from just the defensive side. You scheme up a great game plan, and the number one objective, help out Mendoza, help get an Ashton Genty going, which of course is really going to help out your young rookie quarterback. Now, before I hop on out of here, literally just some NFL news went down. The Atlanta Falcons are planning to place their franchise tag on All-Pro tight end Kyle Pitts, according to Jordan Schultz and according to Ian Rappaport. I do want to throw this out there. The deadline to do this is March 3rd, I believe is actually the franchise tag deadline. The Raiders aren't going to tag anyone. I spoke about this last week. There is not a single player that is going to hit the open market that is worthy of the franchise tag for the Las Vegas Raiders. So Kyle Pitts, this news literally just happening right now. And before anybody asks me, Mitch, will the Raiders franchise tag anybody? The answer to that question is no. The Las Vegas Raiders will not franchise tag a single player. Doesn't make any sense. So before I get out of here, again, Jebrail was hired to be your run game coordinator. I think that that's really to be more of a right-hand man to Rick Dennison, to help out Andrew Janocko, help out Clint Kubiak, fully understand the offense that they're going to be putting together. A little bit of offense, a little bit of defensive ties. Get ready for Max Crosby trade rumors. It is going to be probably the number one talk here at the NFL Combine, and I'm going to do my best to keep you guys up to date. And then the press conferences that I know that y'all really care about. John Spytek talks tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. I'm going to be front and center. Fernando Mendoza, Friday, 8 a.m. I don't know what time I got to wake up. You already know. I'm going to be there front and center for Fernando Mendoza. I've never been here at this Combine. I can't wait to be able to keep you guys up to date. And I know we always do a lot of stuff on this show, but I promise you this, every Super Chat, every Venmo, every subscriber, everybody that participates, it's because we're trying to provide the best content that we possibly can for Raider Nation. So if you bleed silver and black, if you want more exclusive content from the Combine, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on those notifications because you already know I'm going to do my best to keep you guys up to date. If you want even more videos from me and the Chat Sports gang, we're going to be filming literally all week here at this Airbnb. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out even more videos, there's one right there. There's also going to be one that you can click on right here. Essentially, if you made it this far in this show, it tells me that you're a real one. And if you're a real one, don't be afraid. Watch another video here from the show.